Alrighty, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week. Man, big week. Big week for sure. I just sort of realized FOMC this week, Wednesday. Yeah, FOMC. Non-farm payrolls Friday, so big stuff. Also got some big earnings, so should be an interesting one. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. How we doing? Another day, another dollar. Buenos días. Just flipping through some charts here. Waiting for some people to come in. Welcome. All right. So, hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope you guys that are here early had a good weekend. I hope did some fun stuff, disconnected. Back at it today. Really haven't gone anywhere on the overall market. Friday was pretty much an inside day, which is sort of expected. That 200 SMA on the Nasdaq is just sort of sitting here. So really not much movement on the overall market. Hopefully we get a little bit more this week. With Apple earnings, with AMD earnings. with FOMC. I'm sure we're probably going to see some volatility there to hopefully catch some nice moves off of. Overall, the market trend is still definitely lower. Overall, the weakness is absolutely there, right? Nothing has really changed in that regard. That is, my mindset is still the same there. Until we see something that has shown a change in momentum, a change in the behavior, then we got to continue to think the way that's been working, right? We've got to continue to think the way that's been working, which has been supply rejections, man. That's been the move, right? The rejections, those pops, and those fades. If you even just looking at, what I'm looking at in front of my face right now, right? The pops and the fades have been the right moves in this market lately. So until that changes, I'm going to continue to look for that, right? I'm sure there's going to be a day here soon where I take a loss, right? There's probably going to be maybe a red day out there over the next few weeks where I continue to do, the rejection play and it just doesn't work, right? Of course, that's going to happen. Of course, that's going to happen one of these days. So just got to prepare for it. Understand that one of these days there's going to be that switch, that momentum switch where, hey, this time the supply didn't reject. We actually held it. We moved higher. I'm sure that will happen. But as of right now, yeah, that's it. So nice stuff. Let's get started. Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Press that like button if you could. If you're early and you want to smash the like button for me, I'd appreciate that. Get those likes going today before 8:30. Get 1,000 likes before 8:30. That's the goal every day. So today, futures economic earnings calendar. Let's pull up that economic calendar first. Here we go. So here's the economic calendar. You guys can see right here. Today, nothing scheduled, so that's good. Tomorrow, nothing much, really nothing important. I don't think, anything that front runs this right here really doesn't matter much for the market, I don't believe, right? So, employment cost index, home price index, the FOMC. We got 2 o'clock on Wednesday, FOMC decision on the rate, on interest rates, and then at 2:30, you're going to have the Jerome Powell press conference. So that's the main event of the week, right? Right there, 2 o'clock, 2:30 on Wednesday. Again, right? We say this every week, and some of you take it to heart and really protect themselves. Some of you, maybe just can't. Once that bell rings, everything you thought about before in the pre-market just sort of goes out the window. What should we expect on a Monday and Tuesday prior to FOMC? There should be no surprise, right? If we get some shitty action today and tomorrow, there should be not a single surprise out there. If you are surprised by that, you're not paying attention, you're not preparing yourself. I would not be surprised one bit to see some pretty shitty price action both today and tomorrow in anticipation of FOMC, in anticipation of AMD earnings, in anticipation of Apple earnings. I don't expect there to be major moves before that type of economic events, right? Why would the market be making major moves when there's an uncertainty approaching, right? So don't expect much today and tomorrow, honestly, right? Don't expect much. If you get something nice, take it and run, right? You get one good trade today, you should be in the mindset of, hey, I just sort of snuck a nice trade and maybe some shittier price action. Let me grab this and let me run, right? So that's going to be my mindset both today and tomorrow. After Wednesday, I'm assuming price action probably going to heat up a little bit, and hopefully we'll have a good end of the week. I think this is where some opportunities will arise, right? Sort of Wednesday after 2, Thursday, Friday. You got Apple earnings on Thursday, so don't expect, what is the doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. So Monday and Tuesday, just be a little bit careful. Yeah, maybe a 10 wide iron condor trays. I don't mind that. That could be a play, right? If you watch the price action today, if it's getting pretty sideways, maybe set up some condors. Could be a nice play. Absolutely. So that's that, right? Make sure you sort of keep your mindset correct with some of this economic data approaching. Let's go to the earnings calendar real quick because this is important as well. All right, this is important as well. And there's some decent-sized ones out this week. So today, you had McDonald's pre-market. People still eating their McDonald's, man. They're still eating their McDonald's. This morning, we had a double beat on McDonald's. I believe it's higher than the pre-market. Pinterest, not really too important. I didn't know Public Storage was privately traded. That's new to me. That is new to me. But yeah, you'll obviously see Public Storage everywhere, this company. Tuesday before open, tomorrow before open, Pfizer, Cat, JetBlue, AMD tomorrow after close, right? That's important. First Solar, the whole solar sector has been getting completely annihilated, so watch out for that First Solar. Wednesday, Norwegian, CVS, Humana, Wayfair, Kraft Heinz, Generac. After close Wednesday, PayPal, Roku, Qualcomm, some decent ones there, Airbnb and Etsy. Interested to see what Elf does. I think that's a makeup brand. That's probably been strong. Thursday, Palantir, the bag holder's favorite stock. Shopify, Eli Lilly. This thing's been on an absolute rip. That'll be interesting to watch. Moderna, Penn National. Used to love this stock, no longer. Apple, Square or Block, DraftKings, Carvana, Starbucks, Coinbase, some big ones. There's a lot of stuff in here, right? So really the main event, right, is right here. This is the main event, right? That's the main event. Apple, main event, right? So that's going to be interesting, all right? That's sort of your brief explanation of earnings and economic calendar. You can obviously tell there's a lot of stuff on the docket, so make sure to pay attention to that. Look at this rejection we're getting right now, but we'll get to that next. All right. So Tesla 200 has been a big demand. It continues to hold, and shorting into this 200 level does not seem to be a great risk reward. I'll be careful of that today. Going to show you guys some Tesla charts. Nvidia 400, a nice demand that stepped up on Friday, moving a little bit higher off that this morning. AMD, very interesting retest setting up here into the 200 SMA, something I'm watching. And the same exact thing on Apple. Apple is moving higher after a big drop back into its 200 SMA. This could be a very nice watch today as well. Meta 300. I had Meta 300 rejections. I think it did squeeze over it. Yeah, but it's coming right back down. A little bit of a squeeze over 300 today. You guys can see right here. This is going to be a big level on Meta today. You got the 100 SMA. You got the 300 major psych level and some previous rejections. This 300 should be interesting today on Meta. Google watching this major supply above that is moving into. And then finally Costco, right? Costco, right? So that's the schedule. What was the level I talked about? I mean, I think the Nasdaq is going to eventually retest 14.6. In a perfect world, I think that's possible. Now it's not 100%. I would never say that something is 100% going to happen. Using the term 100% is a total idiotic thing to be talking about in the stock market. There's no such thing as 100%. But a very clean retest would be up to this 14.6 level. We'll see if we get it. So let's get started, guys. NASDAQ futures. I'm actually going to start here on the 4-hour chart. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a larger term watch here, right? A little bit of a larger term analysis to start this Monday morning. So let's, man, do I wish I could clean? I know there's a way to do like to sort of have like a second workspace and clean up these lines. But I just don't feel like trying to figure that out right now in the live stream. So maybe I'll try to figure that out later today. I know there's a way. I'm sure you guys know of it too. I'd like to just be able to quickly erase these lines and then put them back on. I know there's a way. But anyways, I hope you guys can sort of see, read between the lines here, my friends. Read between the lines. So you guys can see, we had this previous major 14.6 bottom, right here, 14.6, 14.6, and 14.6. This was a 4-hour, right? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, if you guys are in the Discord, just shoot me a message about it. I just don't feel like changing it right now, man. I don't feel like changing it right now because if I do, then I'm going to mess it up, and I just don't feel like doing it. So I'm going to leave it. Is it? Oh, it's up. It's bottom here, right? Oh, new drawing set. All right, let's do this. So let's do new draw set. Let's do, maybe you can just do like the dates, right? 10:30. That can be my drawing set. And then let's go default. Oh, I was at default. Let's go. Just go there. Ooh, We're cooking with gas now. We are cooking with gas now. All right, so clean chart, right? And so look at this 14.6, right? This is that 14.6 level that I've been sort of watching, right? That's that previous triple bottom. How to cancel your subscription? You can shoot me a DM or email me. Not here. So you guys can see this 14.6, right? 1, 2, right? And this 3, 14.6. Now, you got this big drop, right? Big drop. Major drop through 14.6, big flush, right? And look at where you're sort of maintaining. You're sort of maintaining that 200 SMA. You're sort of just sitting here. Now, to me, it would make sense, right, for the market to come back up, right, retest that previous triple bottom, and then the decision will be made here, right? The decision of whether this moves higher or whether we continue lower should be made at that 14.6 level, right? That's sort of the area that I would want to see the market make that larger decision. So do I think there is a possibility of a little bit of upside on this market towards that 14.6 retest? Yes. And on the flip side, do I really want to be shorting aggressively when we zoom out into this 200 SMA on the 4-hour on Nasdaq? Not really, right? This is the daily 200 SMA. Obviously, this is the 4-hour chart, but that's the daily 200 SMA. I'm not sure I really want to be that short bias, right? I've been short pretty much. You guys know I've been looking shorts the last 2 weeks. If you're in the chat, if you're in the Discord, or you're here in the live stream, you guys, I'm sure, can tell that I've been looking for supply rejections. Like I said earlier, that's really all I've been looking for, and it's been great, right? It has been great, but this is sort of an area where I get a little bit less interested, right? Because I'm sort of sitting at that 200. We've moved lower, and also we've had an aggressive drop, and that aggressive drop could lead to maybe a little bit of a retest. So I'm a little bit cautious on the short side. I'm understanding of where the market is, right? This is important stuff. You need to understand where the market is. If you have no larger term idea of where you are, you can get lost in the sauce. You can get lost in a tunnel. You can't have tunnel vision here. So will I be looking for short side supply rejections? Absolutely today. Will I be full size going crazy short into the 200 SMA? Hell no, right? Absolutely not. Will I look for shorts on a retest of 14.6? Absolutely, right? If we get that pop towards that 14.6, that could be a nice little move there on the overall market. But with that said, let's just go back to our short-term analysis, because this is equally as important to be watching today, is that short-term analysis. All right, so just remember, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this gold. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so sort of give us a reference of where this is. All right, so this gold zone up here, that's that 14.6 retest, right? So this is where we are before we possibly get that 14.6 retest. Now, you can't just think we're going to get a 14.6 retest, right, if we're rejecting Friday's highs, right? So as of right now, the Nasdaq is still rejecting this Friday high. Now, I have it at this 380 level because you had rejections here at 380. You had rejections here at 380. You got slightly above it on Friday, right? A little bit above, up to that 400 area, and ultimately rejected very aggressively. So I'm going to keep it here around that 380, 400. I'm just going to be cautious. Understand that if I see a move over 380, I'm going to have to see something very legitimate before even thinking about upside. And do I even have interest in upside over 380 today? Not really, right? I really don't have interest longing over 380 today, being potentially caught in a fake out, one, and then also longing it right into Thursday highs, right? And this previous low from Wednesday, right? So you guys can see right here, these lows from Wednesday, this Thursday high, right? And if you get a move above that area, above this 380 today, I'm not going to be the first one lined up to go long into this area, right? I will not be the first one lined up to long here over 380 today, right? Because I see this, right? I see this fake out. That's one. I don't love that, right? So I understand there's probably some fake outs above this 380. And then two, do I really feel like longing into a Thursday major wick rejection and into this Wednesday low right up here? Not really, right? So it's a little bit of a tight area to be longing over that 380. I'd be a little bit careful of that today. Yeah, let me make sure here. Guys, so I'm never going to answer this question any longer. I've answered this question for about 6 months of my life, right? I've answered this exact question. Six months. For the last 6 months, I've answered this question almost on a daily basis. There has to be somewhere in my chart, in my videos, in my live streams where you've heard me say this before. If you have not, do some due diligence, okay? If your daily 200 SMA does not match mine, you need to figure out why, okay? Figure it out, right? There's gonna be some obvious reason as to why the 200 SMA, the daily 200 SMA with futures contracts adjusted is at 14,311. If it does not match, I have no answer for you. Okay, that's it. I can't keep answering that question. It's making me lose mind. It's making me lose my mind, to be honest. So that's where the daily 200 SMA is. If yours not there, then you got some digging to do. All right, 14,380. That's the key level on the Nasdaq futures. Right, keep an eye on that. If you get a move above that, be careful on the longs. You do have that 14,460 supply above, right? And then on top of that, you still have this 14.5, right? You still have this 14.5, right? 14.5. You got this, right? There is definitely some levels to be paying attention to above. So make sure you have these supply levels on your charts, right? Make sure you have where these rejections are, previous lows, rejections here, rejections from Friday. 14.5 supply here, right? There's definitely some key areas to be watching here in the short term. Now, all of that, right, if you continue to move through that, right, this could be the move. If you start moving through these supplies, this could be the move into that ultimate 14.6 retest, right? Into the ultimate 14.6 retest, which is sort of that major level above, okay? For the short side idea, right, just be a little bit careful here. If you try to play a 14,380 supply rejection, right, you have to be careful of this 200 SMA, right? There might not be that much downside for you today, right? And so if you're sort of shorting near this 200 SMA today, I would be very careful, right? I would be very careful. There's not much meat here, right? In my eyes, this is sort of like you're trying to eat like a chicken wing that your buddies already chewed the shit out of, right? So I'm not really interested in shorting as we get near this 200, as we get near this chop fest that's been sort of going on over the last few days, right? If I'm going to look to short today, I need a very good entry at 380. I need a bounce into 460, maybe a bounce into 500, right? I need the bounces and the fades. Bounce, fade, bounce, fade, right? I'm not going to short at the lows into this 200 SMA. So please pay attention to that, right? Make sure you are requesting some margin for yourself, right? Make sure you don't be a layover, right? ask for something. If you're going to short, if you're going to put risk in the market, ask for something in return from the market. And so if I'm going to risk my money and short the market, I'm going to ask for it to bounce, right? I'm going to ask for it to give me some more margin on my short, right? I'm not going to be shorting into where, it's an unknown down here at the 200. Ask for some margin on your trades. Have some standards for yourself, right? Sort of, that's how I think about it. That's honestly how I think about it. Have some standards, right? I'm not, you shorting into this, you have no standards, man. You're just taking anything that's out there. Have some standards, right? Make sure the market sets up for you nicely before you take a trade. All right? Hopefully that sort of gives you some idea of how I, sort of an analogy there of how I think about it. All right, so QQQ, where's the best short opportunity today? 350, right? 350, without a doubt. That's the clearest short right here. Previous lows, clear Thursday high rejections. If you get any kind of bounce into 350, I would be watching to see what happens up there. That's a big level, right? 350 on the QQQ is obviously a major level here. Previous lows, major highs, right? This is going to be a huge one above. So watch that 350 on the Qs, all right? Watch that 350 on the Qs. That's very important. Now, in the short term, you can see there's a little bit of reaction here around this 348.50 as well, right? You guys can see right here, 348.50, 348.50, 348.50. So there's definitely some rejections here around this 348.50 to be cautious of today. You're already starting to see that, right? So keep an eye on this 348.50. Is there a short side move off 348.50 into a gap fill? Yes, very possible, right? Could the QQQ gap fill today, hold this 345 and continue? Absolutely, right? You guys see this gap? That's a gap up, right? That's a gap up on the Qs. So if the Qs reject this 348.50 today, could there be a little gap fill play down into 345? Yeah, very possible, right? So that's something you watch today. Watch that double top here from Friday highs. You're rejecting it right now in the pre-market. If this creates downside, possible gap fill. But if you learned anything over the last 3-4 months on the market, and I think this is going to end up being the thing. Every year there's a learning lesson on the market, right? Every year there's a learning lesson on the market. Every year there's some kind of new environment that you sort of have to get used to and understand. If there was anything that I've learned this year is that if you short 348.50 today, you better be a profit taker on any move to the downside, right? Because this drop could easily hold here, and I would not be surprised at all to see it sort of rip off that level, right? You have to play these levels, and you have to be a profit taker in this market, especially this year, right? This is the most important. I think this is the biggest takeaway of the year is quick profit taking. The market has not provided long, continuous moves. So watch the 348.50, right? Watch that 345, 345.60 demand right here. You can see it running across the screen. Obviously, you have Friday's lows. You have Thursday's lows that you have to be careful of as well on the downside, right? Those downside demands. The only place I would look long on this market, the only place that I would even consider a long on this market is a break and a hold over 350. I am not going to try to long the QQQ, the Nasdaq market, if it's anywhere below 350. I have no interest in longing the market below this rejection and below these previous lows. If we can get a move above 350, if we can start to see this thing hold above 350, then I would try to be a part of that sort of flip play, that momentum flip play. That would be a momentum flip, right? That is a structure break on the QQQ. If you get a 350 break and hold, right? If you get a break and hold above these highs and you're back above these lows, that is a structural break. That is putting all of these shorts underwater, right? Everyone that's shorted in this area would now be underwater, which would be the greatest long opportunity over 350. So I'm not interested in longing anything unless the QQQ is over 350 today. ES is weak, man. ES was weaker than the Nasdaq on Friday. Look at the ES. Big break under the 4150 demand. That was very important, right? And it sort of just came right back up. And look at it sort of flatlining at the 4150. So what are we watching today? Well, it's pretty damn obvious, right? 4150. You guys can see double bottom lows, the lows from Friday morning before the slip. We got back above it in the pre-market here after hours, right? And so if you move into 4150 today, are you shorting here, right? Are you going to short at 4150 today? No, all right? No. You are going to look for a real break of it and a real rejection of it, right? Look at this. I'm not sure exactly what this looked like on Friday, but look at this candle. This 15-minute candle rejected 4150. Well, is this clean on Friday? I don't even remember. Let me see if this was clean. If this is clean, man, this is beautiful. Let's see. Was the 4150 break and retest clean on? Oh, God, it was. Oh, God. Oh, man. Look at that, right? Just look at that. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? 4150. I mean, look at that. That's just so nice. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that just really screams opportunity out there, man. Look at how clean the break and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 minutes of rejections right under 4150. That's 12 minutes. That's plenty of time to take that entry point. The break and retest of 4150 on Friday was a thing of beauty. So what do you look for today? It's the same exact thing. right? It's the same exact thing. If you get the same exact thing, you're taking the same exact trade. So if you want to look short today, just wait for a 4150 break and retest. It gave you that on Friday. Don't think it's not going to give it to you again, right? Don't be scared that you're going to miss it, right? Look for that break and retest of 4150 for more downside if that comes in, right? So you're not going to short at the demand, at the lows. What happened to those who shorted the lows early morning Friday, right? If you didn't wait for the break and retest, right? If you didn't wait for that break and retest late day on Friday and you shorted here, right? Oh, I'm just going to short, right? We're getting close to 4150. Bam. Right? Bam. Big loss. Right? So why do that? Why not just wait for it to break and hold below? All right? That's all in your head. That is all in your head, right? Your hands are getting anxious. You really want to take your trade. You're starting to short into 4150. You know demand's there, but you're like, it's not going to hold, man. I'm just going to short it here. Bam. Right? Dead. So why not just wait? Why not just give yourself a little bit of patience, right, and wait for it to actually reject? That's what happened late day, and that's what created the trade. All right, so today it could be the same thing. 4150, bam, right? If you short here, you're going to lose, right? What do you wait for? All right, you wait for that rejection. You wait for it to actually show some rejections there. Then you grab the short. That's the major thing. That right there is the difference, guys. I'm going to tell you the honest truth, right? That right there, that little thing we just talked about, that little tangent I just went on, that is a major difference for a lot of people, right? That is going to change a lot of people's trading, right? The ability to not chase a move into demand, to actually wait for it to set up. That's the same thing to the upside, right? Instead of chasing longs into supply, why don't we just wait for it to break it? Wait for it to come back and retest it and prove to us that it's going to hold, right? That little adjustment right there is going to save you thousands in trading losses, right? Thousands. So pay attention, right? And that's just trading levels. All that is trading levels, right? So 4150 on the ES, little bit of a level here at 4180. I wouldn't say this is a major level, but definitely has some potential reactions at the 4180, right? And if we get over 4180, what's the major level, right? The major level is clearly 4200, right? That's the major level above. That's sort of like that 350 on the Qs, right? 4200, that's the major level, right? All right, we still can't get 1,000 likes by 8:30, so I'm going to be spamming the ad button here. If you don't get it the first time, I'm going to make sure you get it the second. Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel. We got 2,000 people in here every day. And I know it's difficult, guys, but, just pressing that one button would be very much appreciated. It would help the stream grow, help us continue to grow the channel. Subscribe, press the like button, share it with your friends, your family, right? I know it's hard, but I'd appreciate if you could press that like button. So 4180, 4200, and 4150 on the ES today, guys, all right? SPY. So same exact thing, right? It's the same exact thing. And what level are we back at, right? Who remembers this? Spam it in the chat. 4010. If you're an OG, you know 4010. If you're new here, then you don't know 4010. And you probably didn't press the like button also. 4010. So we're back, right? We're back. You guys can see right here. 4010, 410, big level, right? Big level, big demand. We moved into that on Friday. We held up. That's going to be big, right? That is going to be your big level to be paying attention to all week, right? Do we break a below or do we continue to maintain above 4010? So that's what I would be watching, right? Big level, SPY demand. If you get a move under that, that could be sort of where things continue lower. However, right, for now, you have to make sure you understand that there is potential. There's definitely potentially some demand there. The other level that I would be watching for potential demand this morning is around this 412, right? You guys can see around this 412 area. You have this low from Thursday. You have this Friday low, right? And you have this 412 pre-market, right? This 412 is your 4150 on the ES, right? This 412 on the SPY is your 4150 on the ES, right? Because it lines up with that early morning low on Friday. It lines up with those Thursday lows, and it lines up with that pre-market sort of consolidation at 412, right? So that's key demand today. If you move back into that, does that hold? Very possible, right? If you break under 412, you probably move into the 410. So 412, 410, two big levels to be watching here this morning. And then, of course, you have that 415 supply above. That equals the 4180 level we talked about. That is that Friday high rejection. A little bit of rejection here in the after-hour session, right, around this 415. And then above that is the big one, right, the 417. So if I could delete, right, I'm not going to delete these. I'm actually just going to move them because I really don't feel like making this again. If I would, right, if I could remove these levels, these sort of intermediary levels, these are sort of like guideline levels. Really, what's the chart here, right? The real chart here is 417 to 410, right? That's the real channel. It's just a move between 417 and 410 for now. So there are some intermediary levels that you do want to watch, sort of this 415 supply high, which could show some rejections, right? You also have that 412 demand low, which could show some support, right? You want to be watching these as well, but the larger term is more between that 417 and that 410, all right? All right, we got through the futures and we got 1,000 likes. Could you believe it? GG's in the chat for 1,000 likes. Thank you guys so much for that. Now we got to get to 2,000. All right, let's get into some stocks, huh? So, Tesla. I don't like much on Tesla, right? I don't like when Tesla trades like this. It's a chop fest. It's dangerous. It'll eat you alive, right? If you're a newer trader, if you try to take a big trade on Tesla, it's going to eat you up, man. This is not a good time to trade Tesla, right? When is Tesla a good trade? Tesla's a good trade in the moves, and then there's consolidation, right? Big moves, consolidation. So right now, after a big move, Tesla is in the consolidation mode, right? So you're probably going to want to wait for that next big move to start to appear. For me, the next big move to the downside comes in on a break and hold under 200, right? 200 is absolutely, without a doubt, going to be a major level on Tesla, right? This is going to be a major demand low on Tesla. Now, if we break and hold below 200, then sure, I think things will heat up, and I think it's time to start trading Tesla again, right? So for right now, Tesla's sort of we're on a little bit of a breakup, right? I'm not really too interested in this move. I'm not too interested trading this, guys, right? This is not... When we all think about the moves that Tesla makes, the money that you can make from trading Tesla, those glory days of trading Tesla, right? We're not thinking about this, right? This is not the type of move we're really thinking about. We're thinking about those big flushes, right? That Thursday move, that sexy downside on Thursday, right? This is where the money's made, right? You can make enough money on a move like this to make up for 2-3 weeks. So, you don't need to be trading this sideways action. So for me, right, I want that break and retest under 200, right? That'll sort of heat it up. I think that'll heat it up. So that'll be something I watch for. Or, right, on the flip side, I'm going to look for that break and hold over 220, 221, right? That'll heat it up. So either a move above here or a move below here. A move outside of this channel would be where things get spicier, right? And that's where you really want to be, hitting Tesla hard. So while Tesla's sort of in here, I don't love a trade, but I will share with you some analysis in the short term for you guys that just can't help yourselves, right? I would be watching this 214, right? This 214 supply, I think is sort of that intermediary level that you should be watching for some short-term stuff, right? You guys can see right here, if you move into that 214, I don't mind the rejection there. You could watch for that, right? You could also watch for that 200 SMA that's sort of sitting here. And then that 221 is that major supply high. So in my eyes, right, the reason why I started to build a dislike for trading Tesla is because there's too many variables, right? There's too many what ifs. And for me, the what if here is, okay, if I see a break above 214, right, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I want to long over 214. Well, hey, I'm longing right into the 200, right? And so then that's another question in my mind. Do I want to long into the 200 SMA here? right? So there's too much uncertainty in this channel that makes me just a little bit cautious before putting risk at Tesla. So you could look for this 214, right? There's possible rejections here, I think, very possible. If you do see rejections, possibly a nice little scalp, right? If you see a break over 214, I would be cautious longing into the 200 SMA, right? That's a little bit concerning. And you also are longing it into this major double top, right here at 221. All right, so don't love Tesla, but I would, you could watch that 214. Nvidia. So we talked about this 400 level multiple times, right? We talked about this 400 level multiple times. Is this going to work? Okay, create, save as new drawing set. We're going to save that as 1030. I don't know if I'm doing this right. And then I'm going to delete. Huh. Okay, and then now I can delete it, right? Yeah. All right. I want to delete this a little bit because there's really just one major thing to be watching here on Nvidia. And that's 400. I need to set like a drawing set as like clear, right? Create new drawing set, clear, or just no drawings. Huh. Okay. And then default. Okay. All right. No drawings. So, yeah, when you really sort of just clean up this chart, guys, there's only one thing to be watching here, and it's 400. All right? Does 400 hold on Nvidia? Does 400 hold on Nvidia? It's this, right? It's this, it's this, it's this, and it's this low right now. So that's big, right? That is big because when Nvidia breaks, if Nvidia breaks 400, that is a major break, guys. This has been up for 4 months, 5 months, right? This is a major sort of consolidation here. And so if 400 breaks, right, there's definitely some potential, some potential concerns there for some downside. So it's definitely something I got my eyes on. If we do break down, you'll move into 375 most likely, right? You'll move into this 375 low. And if you break that 375, hello, right? Wake up time. That's a big earnings gap up that you could be watching, right? So interesting stuff, guys. And for now, right, you are holding that 400. Let me go back to my drawings. Let me go back to my default drawings. If we go back, right, there are some levels to be watching in the short term here, which we can make some trades off of, right? But just I wanted to make sure you guys understood the really big important thing to be watching is that 400, right? That's huge. So here's sort of that short-term analysis that I'll be watching. So first of all, right, you guys can see right here, 422.50. I hope before I do that, let's see what Chef has to say. Chef, my man, Chef. Thank you, Vince, for all you do. Haters of this content will never understand your true value. Have you helped me 14 months? Major props. Hey, Chef, I don't give a shit about those people, man. You think I care? You think I care? I know what we do here, man. I have zero question of my own ability and zero question of what we provide. So I appreciate your support, Chef. As always, you know we don't care about that, and I'm sure you didn't get to where you are in your life, Chef, by caring about those people either, man. So well done. GG's to you, and thank you for the support, man. And I hope to meet you one day. I promise it'll happen. All right? So 422.50, right? You guys can see right here, 422.50. That's that high from that Thursday, right? That's this Friday high from last week, 2 weeks ago, right? 422.50, 422.50, big level, right? So if you do get a pop into that, right? Then maybe there's some rejections, right? Guys, I want to make sure I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, but I want to give a little bit of a life advice, right? A life advice. If you care what other people think of you, you will get nowhere in life. Okay? I want to make sure everyone that watches me knows that. That's very much important. I started a YouTube channel when, I had friends that were like, why would you do that, right? You think I cared? You think I cared what they thought, right? If you care what your friends think of you, if you're younger out there and you want to start something, right? You want to do something, you want to start something, you want to do something with your life, and your one thing is, I don't know if I like what people think about this, right? Forget it. Forget it, okay? You got to go out and do what you want to do. Do not care what people think of you. Do not care. Okay? If you care, that is the day that you fail. Okay? Make sure you know that. That's very important. The reason I'm very passionate about that is because that is what sort of set my life on the right track, right? Is not caring what others think. That's what really set me up. That was that moment. So I hope that you guys take that seriously as well in your life, okay? Because it's very key. So 412, right? 412 on that's the first level on Nvidia I'm watching here. You guys can see right there. That's that 412, right? That's that 422.50, right? 422.50, and then that's that 428 supply. So there's definitely some levels up here, right? There's definitely some levels up here to be paying attention to in the short term. Now, we're going to need more information on the overall market before we can long Nvidia. So I'm not opposed to the idea of longing the 400, right? I'm not, right? I'm not, right? And I don't think most of us, or I don't think you can be upset. I don't think you can be upset if you try a 400 long at some point and end up losing, right? Because this is risk reward, right? This is risk reward, technically, right? In terms of the chart that you're watching, longs near this 400 is risk reward. That is positive risk reward, right? So that's very interesting, right? But I still think you need a little bit more information on the market before you go for that trade. That's the unfortunate part, because I'm not going to long that, right, with Apple earnings, with FOMC on Wednesday. There's a lot of reasons why you probably stay away from that idea. So on one side, risk reward's great, but on the other side, you got a lot of things going on in the market that you need to understand. Am I really going to long 400 on Nvidia with Apple earnings approaching, with AMD earnings this week, with Jerome Powell speaking, right? Is that really something I want to expose myself to? That's the kind of questions you need to ask yourself, right? So 400, right? 400, very important demand, but understand the market's got a lot of uncertainties this week. 412, 422. All right, let's continue because we are running out of time. We're going to have to go speed round here. AMD, Apple, Meta, Google. AMD, Apple, Meta, Google. AMD. All right. So what I want to see on AMD is this beautiful retest. Am I going to get it? I have no idea. But man, would this be a pretty one. This looks like nothing but a deadly bear flag on AMD as of right now in my eyes. But am I going to get the move that I want? I'm not sure here yet. But this looks like a beautiful bear flag setting up into a major retest, right? That's really what I want to see here on AMD. I would love to see this set up, right? If we can get a bounce into this double bottom low, into this 200 SMA right here, man, would that be a sexy short opportunity up near this 99.50, 100 area, right? That could be really nice. However, you have earnings on Tuesday. You have earnings tomorrow. So am I going to get this move? And is it going to set up nicely for me? I don't know. Probably not, right? But man, would that be something interesting to watch. Keep an eye on this 96 demand today. That was a very key demand that held on Friday. You guys can see here, previous a little high here, previous high from Thursday. That sort of held as a support here end of day on Friday. So keep an eye on that 96. I think that's an important area here, 96. If you hold that, AMD might try to continue. If you break back under 96, right, maybe there's a little bit of downside to be had, but that's the level to be watching. 96, and then right here, guys, this is the big level. I'm probably not going to trade AMD till we get up here, and I hope we do, right? I hope we get up here. I hope we get up towards this 99.50, this 200 SMA. That could be very nice. However, with earnings approaching, it's not the top. It's probably not a top idea here today. This is also a very, very interesting setup into Apple earnings. Maybe there's still opportunity here before Thursday on Apple. I will absolutely be watching this today. I tried to trade this on Friday, never quite got the breakdown, which I'm totally okay with. We have a previous major low at 170. We had a previous major rejection around this 171, right? And we have a 200 SMA that is right above the price action here. If Apple can move into this 170 and start to reject, this could be a sexy bear flag. So, absolutely watching this one alongside with that AMD. These could be very interesting setups, and I will absolutely be watching them here if there is any moves prior to earnings. That's my only concern, right? If there was no earnings this week, I'd be all over this. But that is my only concern, right? That's my only concern. Meta, Google, got Costco. Meta, Google, Costco. Meta, 300, right? Look at this. Look at this. This is going to be interesting here. Meta, 100 SMA, 300 level. Look at this level on the 4-hour chart, right? Look at this level on the 4-hour chart. This is a major previous 300 low. If Meta drops, bounces, right, back into 300, back into the 100 SMA, right? If we start to reject here, this could be a very, very, very nice trade setup. We'll see, man. All we have to do today is watch what happens at 300. That's all you have to do. Watch what happens at 300, okay? That's the key. Google, this is also a very interesting setup for me, right? I can see very clearly on this Google 4-hour a previous channel high and previous channel low, right? So if I delete these ovals, I'm going to show you, look how clear this is. You have previous channel highs that turned into channel lows, right? And you are potentially moving into that 126, 127 supply. If Google turns this 126, 127 supply back into a channel high, God damn it, then I am looking for downside, right? If we turn this 126, 127 level back into a level like we saw back here, then I am looking for downside, right? If we get back above it, then you're looking for upside, right? But either way, that is a major zone here on Google, 126, 127. Pay attention to that area, all right? Keep an eye on that zone on Google. That's going to be big. Last one I got for you guys is Costco. I'm in that swing trade. I'm still in it. I still like it. We'll see what happens. I like the breakdown of this little daily trend. I like the breakdown of the 100 SMA. The target is at 530. The weekly chart still looks great for some potential rejections, right? A weekly chart break of trend right there. I'm still looking for that downside. We'll see what happens. Target 530. This looks really interesting to me, and I went ahead and I took it. So that's all I got, guys. If you could, press that like button, 850. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope, I don't know, man. I hope that you watching educates you. I hope that it inspires you. I hope that you get something out of being here. I hope you find value. If you do, press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Help me continue to grow this channel. Yeah. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. Be safe out there. Be smart. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Peace. Thanks for the education. You got it, Lewis. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.